where we were. We're talking about the early surahs of the Quran. The late surahs, as far as the organization of the Quran that we have, is to some extent. And we were talking about the principal ideas of Islam, early Islam rather, not later Islam. In other words, the first ideas that the Prophet basically is presenting, and we have a warner, and basically he's warning about the day, and that's the judgment day, or the last judgment if you want to put it that way, or the last day. Ideas you get in Second Temple Jewish literature, and from Second Temple Jewish literature into Christianity and so on, the apocalypse, etc. Apocalyptic ideas, we would call it. And then a painful doom. Painful doom. That is the judgment for the evildoers is going to be a painful one. And the fire, hellfire. That's about most of what comes through in these early doctrines, which is totally, I mean, you couldn't distinguish this from John the Baptist, for instance. You'd have to say John the Baptist was a warner, if you want, making people come to be baptized to preparation for the judgment day. And that's what the first day of the seventh month is, by the way, preparation for the judgment day. Couldn't put it better, which is why a trumpet blows and so on in the celebrations of these things for the commemoration or the recognition of these things. Now, we were reading some of these early surahs where these ideas, and we were able to see these ideas come out of the early surahs. Let's see if we started with the enshrouded one. And we were reading, before we broke last time, this overthrowing. And these staccato sort of machine gun-like images, one after another, when the stars fell, when the hills were moved, when the camels big with young were abandoned, when the wild beasts were herded together. This is imagery, I think, that the believer really responds to. There's one point here, when the girl child that was buried alive is asked, for what sin was she slain? Women's rights issues. What's the reference there alluding to? And the Jahiliyyah, the pre-Islamic period, that was the Muslims considered that they would kill their unwanted children, particularly girl children who they couldn't marry off, so it wouldn't be a burden. And so he's kind of presented as alluding to that. Oh, and I guess another thing we have here, that he's a messenger, which goes along with the warner thing. Messengers have messages. His message is the day of judgment. Presumably, like John the Baptist, repent. There really is hardly any difference here between how John the Baptist is portrayed, both in the New Testament and in the Jewish historian Josephus, who also portrays John the Baptist, I think, more accurately than the New Testament does, actually. If you want to get a good portrayal of John the Baptist, look in the Antiquities of Josephus. I think the authors of the New Testament drew on that book. Josephus was a collaborator with the Romans and survived the war against the Romans and was adopted into the Roman imperial family for services rendered to the emperor, a new imperial family, which is why he's called Flavius Josephus, because the new family were the Flavians. He was sort of the original behind Ben-Hur. If you've seen the famous Hollywood movie Ben-Hur, you'll know that Ben-Hur is a Jewish captive who was adopted by the Roman commander. Well, that's a novel written by a Civil War general, an American Civil War general. It became a famous Hollywood movie, but Josephus is the original Ben-Hur adopted. But he's not just adopted by a general, he's adopted into the imperial family itself, which is, he must have done something useful, and what we think he did was heroicize them and show them to be far better than they actually were, and apply messianic prophecies to them. So he's a collaborator and a turncoat, but because of that he saved his skin and he lived to write the history of this period. And his writings were from 70 to 90 AD. We know that's when the writings were done, and in that he has a good picture of John the Baptist. Okay, now as Muhammad continues here, or the angel, and when the garden is brought nigh, every soul what it hath made ready. Works righteousness, sending your works before you. I call the planets, and this should be in good Arabic. Who's going to read this for me in good Arabic here? Any good Arabic readers here today who want to take a stab at 81? You want it? No.
It's not good.
Who wants to give it a stab? What happened to our Quran reader? She's not here today? I wouldn't take a stab myself, but you wouldn't want to hear me stumble through it in Arabic. I mean, I can read Arabic, but I wouldn't want to present myself. Well, you want to give a little bit? You got a Quran there? 81.
Surah 81?
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Well, in English it's the overthrowing. Oh, Takwir, he said. Not Takwir. I suppose she should read it.
I'm good.
You can read it? And you can do it better than her?
Oh, not better than her.
What did she say to you? What did she say?
Is it verse 81? No, it's Surah 81.
Surah 81.
The whole thing?
It's only 29 verses. Or read us about 10 verses. Come on, read us about 10. 10.
Okay. إِذَا وَالشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ.
Okay, stop. We won't do it because you've got to get the rhythm in, and you're like on my level. All right, you're like me. That's how I would read it. Give it back to her. Thanks anyway for the effort. Where was our smooth reader? Where was she? Yeah, she's. We frightened her away. No, we needed her help today. Oh, we'll get it another day. What's her name? The one that's. Where's she from? Yeah, that's right. She said she was from probably Eritrea, I think. No other Arabic readers in the room here. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to. You're on my level, so that's about like I would do. So we don't want to make them. We don't want. It was good of you to volunteer. We are really grateful. Okay, so the point is that this is going to be in rhyme prose, isn't it? And this is going to have a rhythm to it, and this is going to sound really good in Arabic, isn't it? And in English, it sounds pretty good as well, but it'll even sound better in Arabic. And that, I think, is the charm, the magic, the attractiveness of the Quran to those who read it. You have to recite it out loud. That's the whole point. And then it has an effect on your being or mind and so on. Particularly if you know Arabic. So in any case, I swear by the breath of morning, this is an honored messenger speaking. Now the next line is the important one. Mighty, established in the presence of the Lord of the throne. Mighty, established in the presence of the Lord of the throne. The Lord of the throne is a Kabbalistic idea. We know it from Kabbalah. You say, well, what is Kabbalah? Well, that's Jewish mysticism. And so it makes one think that there is more